Alright, so me and my friend Inamigane were recently discussing Joseph Anderson, and I decided to watch his Hearthstone, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly review of the game. And while watching, I realized he was misplaying in a lot of his clips. A lot of the clips are just him getting screwed over by RNG, or his opponent getting screwed over by RNG. That's pretty much 80% of them. And so I and Inamigane have decided to go through and put our analysis on what is going on in these clips and where Joseph Anderson could have played better and where his claims of not being in the control of the game or luck or curve or whatever are actually kind of false. So for background, I played this game and the peak I reached was around top 15 legend. Never did anything competitively or anything like that. And I'll let
I played up to rank 2 in ranked, and I played a lot of arena going infinite. But mostly, what we're doing here is pointing out the most egregious misplays by Mr. Anderson.
Not rank 2 legend in Megan, right?
Rank 2, just rank 2, not legend.
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight.
Alright.
Right under Innkeeper.
So we're going to go through and analyze kind of the board state and what he's got in his hand, Melvin decisions, see if we can find anything we can do better. So the first one is this clip at 148. And this is, the idea is he trades here, this is fine. So he plays, what is it called? Defender of Argus, this is perfectly fine. The question here is what he trades for. So on turn 4, Paladin, this is probably Secret Paladin back in the day. On turn 5, he can either play like Blessing of the Kings, he can play Sludge Belcher, I guess. Let me write this down. So Blessing of the Kings, Sludge Belcher, I'm kind of afraid of that. True Silver, Consecration. Is that kind of it? Shredder?
Those are pretty much just the plays that we're worried about, killing our board. Belcher there isn't really much counterplay against that other than PO here at this point, or I guess abusive, but his bigger clears like Consecration and Blessing of Kings are more worrying. They give him more initiative.
Well, let's say you don't like clear the board and go face like you kind of wanted to, and he plays Belcher. What kind of happens there? He gets a free.
You go face on all your like minions. He plays Belcher. You abusive your Imp Gang boss, and that kills the Belcher.
Yeah, I guess
your
that's
Imp
correct.
Gang boss survives.
Well, I mean,
you beat Belcher with abusive in hand, pretty much 100% of the time. But if he has Consecrate, he can kill your Imp Gang boss and leave you with a 2/1 Argus and an Imp, right?
Yeah, that was basically it. If he has Consecrate in hand, he can trade his 2/2 into the 3/5. And he can trade his 1/1 into the 3/3 and basically conk for 2/1 and then the 1/1, which is not very good. And he remains a 2/2 on the board. But I mean, if you trade and he's got conk, you're pretty much screwed anyway.
Yep. So when you hit face, you just get 5 damage for free, and you end up in the same situation as if you traded.
No. If you trade the 2/1 into the 1/1, and then you trade the 3/5 into the 2/2, to clear with conk, he has to kill his 2/2.
Mini-bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And then you end up with the same situation.
I think him not having a mini-bot.
You end up with the exact same position though, except that you didn't hit his face.
Well, he has
initiative here.
He has a mini-bot if you don't pop the shield.
Yes, that puts you at Blessing of Kings vulnerability.
Well, you have to pop the shield because of Blessing of the Kings.
But you have if you don't pop the shield and he plays Blessing of Kings, how about that?
Okay, where do you put the question really here is where do you put your what's it called, the Imp Gang boss? Because the Imp Gang boss, if you put your Imp Gang boss into the 1/1, you're obviously not trading the 2/2 into the shield.
No, not at all. If you put your Imp Gang boss in the 1/1, you hit face with the Voidwalker, and then you just pray he doesn't have Kings. But you could also just hit face with both. It's what I'm saying. If he has Kings, what is your best play? Other than like killing the mini-bot here.
If he has Kings, your best play is
just killing mini-bot.
No, if he has Kings, your best play is to just kill the 1/1 with the 2/1
and pop the shield.
Pop the shield, yeah. I think that's the best play with kings. I think that's the best play if he has conk, really. Because it removes...
If he has conk, I think, yeah. Supposedly, if he has conk or blessing, that is the best play. Hitting face is only good if he has conk. What he did...
I don't think hitting face is good with conk, because he sticks with a 2-2 on the board.
Yeah, but then you kill it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that in my game. I
don't know.
Are you gonna play turn 5? I don't like trading up with the abusive next turn because I want to play a 5-drop as well.
You don't
I want to play
abusive. You kill it with Argus.
Yeah, I don't kind of want to do that either. I would rather kill it with the Doom card. I think. I don't know. I think his play is actually kind of fine, assuming he trades there. But there's definitely this is a very complicated play right here. Surprisingly. All right. The next one is 35-40.
This one is nothing matters here. He just loses here due to RNG, but I think he could have done a better play. If you look at the turn history, it seems that he played Taskmaster there instead of, you know. No, he didn't play He played Taskmaster the turn before. It's irrelevant.
All right, 12:55. Okay, so he gets Arcane Missiled and he gets here, and he basically plays Implosion. So first question is whether you play Implosion or not. You notice that Joseph Anderson plays Implosion within like 3 seconds of the turn here. So we can figure, being in anime game, don't realize the Implosion's the best turn. It's obvious, maybe not. But Joseph Anderson will play it within 3 seconds. He plays Implosion, rolls a 3. He misses a Juggles.
Convinced.
Misses a Juggles.
Very low chance.
So the first question here is if you play Implosion or not.
Yeah. If you don't play Implosion, your option to getting rid of the Flame Waker would be going for a 33% if you pop the spider on the Flame Walker. That's a 33% chance, right?
It's you hit one. Well, you hit one. It's not 33%. It's 50%, right? Or 25%, right? You have to hit
25?
two. You have to hit 2 Juggles in a row.
Right.
They're both 50-50.
Okay, you go for a 25, and if you don't get it, you trade your Juggler regardless, because he's 100% dying next turn. There's no chance the Juggler survives.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He will get pinged. And you get to play a Void Caller, which gives you a potential Imp Gang boss, which is extreme value.
Yeah. So
Implosion puts you back in like tempo. Even if you got that juggle, I think Implosion was the wrong play.
So yeah, I think Implosion, Voidwalker, it's getting like the last one with the consecration and the thing like that. It's a bit too complicated. There's a lot of different things there. But definitely Voidwalker is definitely a consideration. Like Mage can clear your 1/1s anyway. I guess they're never really getting better when you have Juggler on the field, right? So your Implosion is always going to be the best when your Juggler's on the field, so that's obviously means Voidwalker is not as good in some regards to get the value out of your card. But you could definitely play Void Caller, my bad. You could definitely play Void Caller here. It's consideration. The real issue here is he trades his 1/2 into the 2/1, which puts more things on the board.
Really putting all his eggs in one basket in that board, yeah. It's not wise. It's better to kill the 1/1.
Yeah.
You're not getting much value from the taunt.
I think it's
just the 1/1 at this point.
I think you're killing the 1/1, and if the Juggler for some reason lives next turn, you get more value off the 1/2.
Yeah.
Mage can potentially play Arcane Missiles or Arcane Explosion, or you can play another Flame Waker. The value of your egg is much higher when it's not dead, really. That's a very high value card.
Yeah.
You should just trade the 1/1 into the 2/1, I think.
He definitely overvalued the taunt.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened there.
Just for the chance that the Juggler lives, or it's the same amount of damage on board either way. Alright, what's next?
Right.
So this is a okay. So he has a 2/2, 3/2. These can all attack at 1337.
Yep.
Let me make sure. Okay, so he has a 3/3/1, a 3/2, and a 2/2. You obviously just go face here. Him trading into the 4/3, he gets He's complaining about piloted shredder. He gets millhoused here. When you trade in the piloted shredder, you're just giving the thing that comes out of it haste. You're just giving like the other player.
You're giving him value.
Yeah, you're giving him value. You want the piloted shredder player to have to trade into you most of the time. Like if he just goes face here, he puts the hunter down to 4.
And you're especially wasting the abusive attack bonus. Like it's really not helpful at all to just use it on a shredder.
Well, if you're gonna use the abusive to trade, you need to trade into something that actually gives you impact on the board and gets you further ahead on the board, not just trade into a shredder and he's just gonna get whatever out of it. You should just go face here. You bring him down to 4, you put him in line for true silver. You've got a ton of power on the board. The only way he kills you, I bet, is if he's got 8 mana next turn. So he needs he hits you down to 10. If he plays Unleash, he puts some 4 on the board, so that puts you down to 6. If he plays another Unleash, that puts 2 more on the board. It puts you down to 4, and then you get hero power. He can't even kill you with double Unleash.
Yeah.
He kills you with what's 4 plus 4? It's 8, so 10. He can kill you with Kill Command Unleash, but it's a 2-card combo. Just to draw both of them. You obviously just don't trade into the shredder here.
Yeah, no way.
Like Joseph Vanderton gets millhoused here, but the millhouse is only backbreaking because he fucking screwed up and he misplayed. That's a lot of these things. Is the RNG can be extremely backbreaking if you're already making a bad play.
Yeah, if you're playing into the shredder, if you're basically just making it a stronger card than it really is by just
exactly
being baited.
So we were at 1337, 2330.
2330. If you look at the turn history of what Joseph played last turn, he doesn't show it here. He played Rag on turn 9. The enemy's board was empty, and he ends up getting comboed.
Yeah, so
in his hand, he had a Sludge Belcher. He could have saved himself.
Yeah, he played
Drag on nothing.
He's playing against Patron Warrior, and so his opponent he's already got Dr. Boom on the field. It's a 7/5 or 7/4 or whatever. So if he plays Belcher Death Spite and swings, he's down to 6, and he just kills him pretty much no matter what next turn. Is there a way you can play a... He's at 25 health, so it's not like... How much mana does he have? He has how much mana? 8 mana?
He had 9.
So, Frothing's 3. He can't even play like a 1 Frothing and then a Patron. Unless, I guess he can have a Thorson proc, but... Sludge Belcher Death Spite's definitely better because it keeps you alive in more situations, and you're realistically going to get lethal anyway. It's not like you can just play the Ragnaros next turn if you really want to shoot him.
Yeah, you're getting lethal in 1 turn no matter what.
Well, yeah. It was obvious you should have played defensively here because you were going to win if you played defensively, and you opened yourself up to losing the game.
Mm-hmm. You didn't get unlucky, you just lost.
1356.
Especially since the warrior had 8 cards in hand. Like, come on.
Yeah. Alright, so what is this one? Okay, so this one was, he plays, what's it called? He plays Implosion, hits a 4, and he gets 4 imps. So, beforehand, he had tapped and then played Implosion. There's definitely a consideration. He probably thought about this one since he tapped. But you have... I just skipped over it. I should have screenshotted these. So you play Implosion here, and in some sense, your imps are not his value because they're just going to get traded off by 1/1s. By the 1/1 thing, you're playing... You're really opening yourself up to concentration too, with all these 1/1s and trading the 2/3 into the 2/2.
Yeah, definitely. And you just kind of don't have Like, when you tap, you just force yourself to play Implosion at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I don't think you tap.
The tap is the real issue. You had 6 mana. You can play. It's not. You can clear the 4/2 pretty easily. You can play Abusive and then Loatheb and sort of set up for the boom next turn, even though maybe that's not that great. You can definitely play Abusive and then the 5-drop Doomguard and haste and kill the 4/2 or trade or whatever you want to do here. Implosion's definitely not. I would rather play a 5-drop, preferably like the 1-drop, and then either the Doomguard or the Loatheb. You have good cards in your hand. You just kind of want to get rid of them. I mean, I just don't think the Implosion puts much threat on the board.
Not at all.
Yeah, you can drop a bunch of big stuff next turn. If anything, you kind of want to discard Implosion against what's it called? Like Paladin has the one. Yeah, Paladin has the 1/4. He's got all of these 1/1s already. He's got Consecration. Implosion is not that great of a card in this matchup. What do you think?
At this point, when are you going to play your Doomwalker or Loatheb? Because turn 7, you have to play Boom.
You have to play Boom.
Basically.
You have to play Boom, yeah. Do they play Conk Equality in this deck? I don't think they play Equality.
They do. No, 100% they do.
In Secret Paladin?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't think Implosion was the good play. I just play the 1-drop and a 5-drop, and Implosion just doesn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
1359. Okay, so this is another Implosion thing right here. So Implosion's only hits a 2. So if we look at the other cards in his hand, he has an Annoytron and the Annoytron, Argus, stuff like that. I think you just play the
Owl.
The Owl. You owl the Shredder. There's not really anything you're going to owl in Secret Paladin. Maybe
the enemy has a 1/2 weapon.
You have a 1/2 weapon, yeah. You play the Owl.
If you owl the Shredder, he has to hit it. He doesn't get value from killing your Imp Gang boss anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Only you come out ahead.
He can't get the easy trade on the Imp Gang boss with the Shredder.
Yeah.
You're right. So obviously, it's probably Owl Shredder, trade the 2/4 into the 2/1, and then play Annoytron. He bashes the Annoytron off on the Divine Shield, trades into the Annoytron with the Shredder, and you can easily trade in the Shredder, whatever, if you want to, with the 1/1 you produce off the Imp Gang boss. You set yourself up for Argus. It's way better than Implosion. You keep the Implosion. Like, what's he gonna play on 5? Loatheb? Something like that? It's just a better play.
Yeah, and it doesn't put you at risk of rolling
Exactly.
2 and whining.
Even if he hit the 4, is it that good? Because whatever comes out of the Shredder comes out of the Shredder. So he has
the Imp Gang boss and gets conked.
Yeah, he just opens himself up to. Well, I guess the other play opens yourself up to conk, but it's not that bad.
And Annoytron is not that easily conkable.
Well, he has the 1/1 weapon. I think the Implosion just killing the 4/1. If it killed the thing, it's not that good anyway because he's just gonna get the 2-drop.
Killing the enemy's Shredder, using your value to kill the enemy's Shredder. This is similar to last time. You're giving him more value.
Let me think here.
It's unwise.
What happens if he hits the Annoytron? Nah, it's whatever. I think you definitely play the 2-drop and the other 2-drop because the Shredder, the Implosion is just not good here. Hitting 2 doesn't matter. The Implosion's not good.
Agreed.
2953.
This is a poor mulligan on his behalf.
Yeah, so he's probably playing against another Mech Mage or a Freeze Mage. This hand just looks good. You can coin 2 into 3. If you want to coin, you can play. You can coin into Loatheb. Go 2-3 coin Loatheb. That seems pretty good. I don't think I'd pitch this. I don't know what you're looking for.
The only thing you'd be looking for is Mech Warper, and that's if you're looking for Mech Warper, you would probably throw more than 2 cards, and you wouldn't get like the cards that you get back are probably not going to be very good mechs either.
His best turn 1 play is like coin Mech Warper into Clockwork Gnome, right?
Yeah.
Or it's a Mana Worm, coin Mana Worm or something like that. That's not bad either. I think this hand is just fine. I wouldn't keep Lothab's already pretty good against Mage.
Yeah, there's no reason.
I don't really think I'd mulligan this hand. If I'm gonna ditch anything, I'm ditching the Annoyotron because of Flamewaker, because of well, I guess Flamewaker wasn't a thing in GVG.
Well, I assume this whole video was recorded after, but yeah.
I wouldn't ditch it because of the ping. I wouldn't ditch it because of Magic Missile. Annoyotron isn't actually that good here.
It's not that good against Mage. Sure, yeah. But ditching Tinkertown especially is just a complete baffling choice. It's just a 3-drop in a mech deck that really puts your deck together.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Spider Tank.
Yeah.
if you're it's definitely the best 3-drop in the thing.
Mhm.
It's 1526.
Oh, this is terrible. This is probably the worst play in this video.
Yeah, this is easily the worst one. Okay, so his hand is Shade, Innervate, Savage War, Innervate, Coin. What's it called?
Savage Combatant.
Savage Combatant. So his opponent has the 3-2 on the board. So Mr. Anderson decides to coin out Savage Combatant and Hero Power. In a sense, he totally fucks his next. He fucks his curve. He has nothing left in his hand. He goes all in on this 4-mana 5/4. And you'll see.
And he used all his ramp. He doesn't have any
doesn't have any ramp
really at all.
What are Zoo Warlock's 2-drops? They are Knife Juggler. Knife Juggler's bad against this. Nerubian Egg is fantastic against this because you can't trade into it. You can't Hero Power. You just gotta go face. What's the other one? The Haunted Creeper is fantastic against this. What did they play anything else?
I don't think they're.
Direwolf Alpha is not good.
You can play a taunt and a 1-drop as well.
Yeah, the taunt 1-drop is fine. Soulfire completely blows you out.
Yep.
But if you
Dark Bomb Coil.
Yeah, Dark Bomb. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of plays that blow you out completely right here. And if you look at it, he gets blown out completely because his opponent plays Nerubian Egg, and then he plays Haunted Creeper, and Joseph just has to go face. So if you look at what Joseph actually could have played, if you look at how his hand turned out, he could have just Innervated Shade on 1. Gets a 2/2, does
Innervated Through the Claw on 3.
Yeah,
or even on 2, he could have coined it.
He could have ended up coining Druid of the Claw. I mean, you keep the 3/2 on board, but you're going Shade. I'm not that scared. It's just that he completely screws his hand here. It was very rarely correct to innervate out a 4-drop on turn 1 unless it was piloted Shredder to some degree, or
he won making all the wrong moves basically. Just a bad beat.
This is definitely Shade is better. You've gone all in on this thing and it doesn't turn out well. You've destroyed your hand. It's kind of whatever. It's just the wrong play. That being said, Druid is not a favorite matchup in the Zoo Warlock, so going all in might not be as bad, but it's. If you've got 2 Innervates in your hand, you're generally going to have to be able to play something extremely powerful later in the game. And 5/4 on turn 1 that just gives you hero power on bait that turns out to be nothing is not powerful enough to spend 2 Innervates and a coin on. Alright, so 2253.
This is as much as he praises Patron Warrior, he really almost threw the game here. If he didn't actually lose.
Alright, so the first problem here is the way he puts down his patrons. When if the opponent has Consecration, he can't he gets no patrons, right? Because he fills the board up with them. Another thing is he can't swing Deathspite because he has a bunch of 3/1s and no patrons. They're all filled up.
And notice the enemy has 5 mana left and 1 card in hand he didn't play. It can't be Divine Favor because he would have played it.
Yeah, so what could it be? It could be Boom, it could be Consecration.
It's very likely to be Conk.
Yeah, you're right.
Very likely.
It's probably Consecration, or it's Boom, or it's like Tyrion or something like that. But I guess he'd play Tyrion or Boom the turn before. It's likely it's Conk. So the play we wanted to do was to play Frothing. Just slam.
Slam or Battle Rage.
You build like a 10 power Frothing, hit him in the face. Keep your what's it called?
Yeah, keep your patrons for a better time. If you get to like patron combo next turn on even like a 1/1, you come out ahead.
The reality is he's gonna win the game no matter what. I mean, I guess the point in not swinging with Death Spite is that it keeps your 2/3 alive and gives you his Consecration. Your charge minion, which might have some value, but I don't know. This is very. I don't like the play. I'd just rather play it safe. You might even clear with just play like Gnomish, or just clear with like patrons. You don't even have to charge the patrons. You could just play the patron, swing into like the 2/2, and get 2 patrons, a 3/2, and a 3/3,
and save your war song for a kill.
I think that's better than just filling up your board with patrons. I don't know.
Just doesn't give you any advantage killing a Crazy Alchemist
using
all your combos.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument here to either making the big Frothing or playing the. If you play your patron and then swing too, you could get a 2/2 Battle Rage. You can
Gnomish Battle Rage with and you would Gnomish Death Spite and Battle Rage draw like 5 cards.
I think Gnomish Death Spite. I think you just do like patron. I think you should do patron Battle Rage if anything, man.
Regardless, it's all very good.
I think that's better. He's gonna win it anyway, so.
Yeah.
1808. So what is this one? Oh, this is the one where he's playing Zoo Warlock, but he's playing POs. He's not playing POs. He's playing PO Shadowflame and Mal'Ganis, and these are just like. This was these cards in your deck were indicative of you not knowing how to play the game. Because
misunderstanding of the archetype.
The whole point of Zoo Warlock was to have basically every card in your hand be a hit. You didn't want cards sitting in your hand. You wanted to be able to tap and fill out your curve basically every single turn. And you wanted to use your minions on the board to efficiently trade. Like, Shadowflame was some weird tech for Patron Warrior or like, I don't know, like other Zoo mirrors, and it was so bad. It's completely the antithesis of the gameplay, and it's oftentimes just a dead card in your hand that destroys your other matchups and doesn't do anything. Like, he's lowering his matchups in a lot of games, and he's playing a more controlled game style when he shouldn't. Just play a different deck if you're going to play Shadowflame. 3503. Alright, so this is a really good one. He includes this. Questions to tap, that's fine. Tapping here is fine. But the issue is, see, he forgets to attack. He doesn't play his 1/1 in attack. Like, come on, man. You gotta pay attention to the fucking game here. I don't want to hear about how skillless the game is and how...
He says, "Oh, the game's you always end up playing autopilot. This is how your autopilot is.
Autopilot, you forget to attack.
Not gonna fly for long.
I mean, everybody does this, but I don't. If it's going to be one of your clips in your game, in your game montage about how the game is skillless and there's no thought and whatever, and a lot of the decks, then come on, man. All right, so we got 2044. I can't wait for I gotta get another one. Alright, what is this? Okay, so the question here, he mulligans. It's a mulligan question. This is kind of up in the air between me and Intimidate. Do you keep Dr. Boom? And my argument is you have basically 4 things of ramp. 5 if you count the Darnassus Aspirant. 5 or 6 if you count the Darnassus Aspirant. But Wild Growth, Innervate. If you draw those before turn 5, you can eke out Boom beforehand. you already have a decent curve, and Darnassus Aspirant on 2, Druid of the Saber on 2. What are you really looking for? Like swipe, or if this is Mech Mage, maybe you want like swipe or Wrath.
You would Shredder is your best 4.
Yeah, Shredder's your best 4. It's a 2 of. I almost would rather keep Doctor Boom. I think keeping Doctor Boom.
Keeping Doctor Boom and hoping to ramp, you would want to get a Wild Growth or an Innervate, right?
Yeah. I think you could maybe
the
keep
Hyper
Dr.
Geo
Boom,
calculator.
Yeah. I mean, like, if there's 4 Innervate, if there's 4 spells, number of successes, you draw 5 cards. That's 58%. You draw at least 1 by by turn 6.
Really, you should keep Doctor Boom, but at the cost of giving up a little bit of a tiny bit of mid game, which as a ramp druid you should be okay with.
If it's Mech Mage, you can get run over. That's the only thing. Now that I think about it, if it's Mech Mage, you 100% you could get ran over. Or if it's like a Tempo Mage.
You do have 2 drops in your hand that you can, help yourself with.
You can charge out.
You're not gonna hope that Darnassus survives. You're gonna use it to trade.
Yeah, if anything, you're gonna keep
Darnassus is not really.
If anything,
the best ramp
Druid of the Saber is probably pretty good against Mech Mage because you can't get Frostbolted. It's probably pretty good against. Yeah, I think Druid of the Saber. I would have kept the whole hand probably 2/2, but that's what I was
definitely thinking. Not keep, or definitely not mulligan Saber. He got lucky and got it back, which is just like the last.
What do you think he was looking for?
That we shown with the Tinkertown.
Was he looking for like Wrath?
He had to have been looking for like Shade or Innervates or something. I don't know. He's just.
If he's looking.
Trying to be a flashy
what is he
combo.
What is he gonna innervate out with? On turn? What? I just don't understand.
Nothing. Makes no sense.
What was this? Is 27-0?
Yeah. Bit of an embarrassing critique on his part, talking about how he got unlucky with the juggler.
Yeah.
Even though the opponent just played optimally.
So this is kind of what the whole this is kind of like indicative of what we thought good Hearthstone was like. In this little sequence here, the enemy sequences his plays perfectly. He hits the 3/5 into the 2/2. So when the Imp Gang boss creates his little 1/1, it's perfect. This guy, there is randomness in the game. What the skill in the game was these little minion combat trades and things of that sort, and sequencing them correctly in order to get the highest impact. He plays it perfectly here. But yeah, obviously, again, through this video, like, it's a lot of clips are just Joseph Anderson apparently getting screwed over by like RNG or like curving out and stuff like that. But we've gone through this video and identified that there are multiple situations where he either misplays or there are multiple lines of play that are definitely interesting. And it's sort of Hearthstone was very good back in this time because it is a very linear game, and you only have 30 card decks, and you have basically it was 15 2-ofs, and because of how small, you didn't have to worry about mana and things of that nature. You could reasonably calculate what was going on in the field. You could play around cards the enemy was going to have. You could calculate what you were going to draw, or what was the best play given you draw 2 or 3 cards ahead. And it was very easy to do this in comparison to a game like Magic the Gathering where you have 60 card decks, you've got sideboards, you've got multiple phases of the game, and it's not focused on minion combat, whereas you have counters, more board wipes, way more removal, things like that. The creatures actually have abilities to trigger and things of that nature. The amount of possibilities and the tree just explodes in that game. And so it's not as like this hypergeometric calculator. I don't think that's as applicable as it was to Hearthstone. And certainly in like games of like, he says it himself, in Patron Warrior, he identifies that Patron Warrior was all about using your cards together. He says the deck was one that no matter what you drew, you felt that you could win the game. And that was true, but it was basically true because you had to cognitively think about your turns, what you were going to draw, how are you going to sequence things. And it was a perfect representation of Hearthstone. But he never made this jump that the rest of the decks were all like this. Maybe not to the same degree, but games like Zoo Warlock were obviously not autopilot, curve fest, things of that nature. There are a lot of intricacies because it's all based upon this minion combat. And from what I can tell, he never took that mindset of playing Patron Warrior, Freeze Mage, where you have to think about your cards in combination with other, and applied it to the other decks. And I think that's kind of why this video annoyed me in some sense. I just don't think it's true. The game was very, very, very good during periods of its time. Well, that's basically it. We've gone for quite a bit and analyzed his plays. The game's not all RNG fuck you stuff. It was pretty good. So that's it.
Thanks for watching.